the Zoe Court. We just wanted to thank you and show our appreciation for putting together this whole incredible event. So thank you, Keegan.
All right, good evening. If we haven't met before, my name is Keegan Lammers, and I am the orchestra director here at Zionsville Community High School. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. We know this is a busy week with Thanksgiving coming up. We are so grateful that all of you have come all decked out in your most fabulous attire. As far as Jim knows, this, or knew before he came here, this was a regular high school orchestra concert, but Jim, if you haven't gathered this yet, this concert is for you. I don't know if the attire or the Crismorchestra gave it away. And I'm going to say a few words before we get started, and then we'll hear from some speakers throughout the concert. I believe anyone who has had the privilege of teaching with Jim will tell you that he has instilled in us the most important lesson. It's all about the kids. Tonight, we're going to embrace that motto and also turn it back on Jim, so haha. Yes, it is all about the kids that Jim helped to teach or raise or mentor or inspire, the kids who are still here in Zionsville, and the kids who have gone on to have kids of their own. The kids who have grown up to play in community orchestras, pursue careers in music, or simply enjoy music more throughout their lives, all because we're lucky enough to know Jim Crismore. When I came to Zionsville just over a year ago, Jim Crismore was one of the first people to reach out and welcome me to the district. In the time we've worked together, I've come to know Jim as an ally and friend to all. He does so much for everyone around him, from helping at concerts to judging ISMA contests. And even though he didn't give our groups a perfect score at ISMA in the spring, we love him anyway. I and so many other people on this stage could go on and on about the kind of person Jim is, but at his core, Jim is an ally and a friend to everyone he meets. This orchestra is made up of 200 of Jim's kids. We are all here because we had Jim as a mentor or a colleague or a friend or a teacher, and our lives are all better for it. This is a celebration of Jim, the music and joy he's given, and the lessons he's given us. We are here to support you, Mr. Crismore, and show you just how many people love you. Between pieces, you'll hear short statements from former colleagues, students, and friends of Jim's. We hope you'll connect with each other at the reception that immediately follows the performance. Thank you so much for joining us tonight as we celebrate a person we love dearly and the gifts he's given us all, music and joy. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the newly formed Crismorchestra. And our first speaker tonight is going to be Mr. Bill Kristoff, and I'll let him tell you a little bit more about how he knows Mr. Crismore. Where did he go? Oh, you're right in front of me. There you go.
Snuck up on you.
Yes, you did.
Good evening. My name is Bill Kristoff, and I first met Jim when he came to Northwest High School as a student teacher. I was his supervising teacher. Jim was gangly in stature, and we talked about it a little bit, and he said he attributed his thinness to his mom's cooking. A few years later, I saw him and he put on some weight. I mentioned it and he said, "I moved out of my parents' house." As his supervising teacher, I was impressed with his willingness to work hard and accept suggestions. Jim had a unique background compared to most orchestral directors. He played fiddle in a bluegrass band. He played banjo and he played guitar. A few years ago, I saw where he was performing banjo in a Carmel Orchestra performance of Rhapsody in Blue. I asked him how he got the job. He said, "It was easy. I play banjo, I read music, and I own a tux." So they hired him. At Northwest, he was concerned about teaching a, quote, traditional way. I told him, "Be yourself and teach what you are most comfortable with." This led to his teaching my inner city, predominantly female violinists, how to play bluegrass riffs. They loved it. That was the greatest thing. He then channeled them to Baroque music, which they thought was great because the bowings were similar to what they had learned in the bluegrass riffs. I knew that Jim would excel as a teacher, which has been the case. I would like to think he's interspersing his rehearsals with magic tricks, rope tricks, and dad jokes are a result of his experiences at Northwest and being himself. Musicians are a group where age isn't necessarily a barrier, as this orchestra tonight proves. A few years ago, I was asked by Jim to teach private lessons at Zionsville West. Before I was approved, I was told I needed to be interviewed by the principal. Turns out the principal had been Jim's student, Jim had been my student teacher, so our roles had been completely reversed. Jim, here's wishing you speed in your recovery and many years of bringing joy and music to all you touch. Thank you.
My name is Heather Nieto. I teach at Hamilton Southeastern High School, but I started my career in Lawrence Township, and I have known Jim Crismore for my entire career, and we worked together for many years in Lawrence. Jim has many talents and abilities, and one of those is the ability to talk in front of a large group of people as if he is sitting in his living room with his best friends. I do not possess this ability, so I'm going to ask for your patience as I get through these next few sentences and things that I would like to share with you of experiences that I have had with Jim. Co-founding the Lawrence Township Junior High Honor Orchestra, taking them to Disney to perform the first week of April, and convincing them on the first night, April 1st, that the park was closed the next day, and not to worry, as we would be spending the day at the Botanical Gardens instead. April Fools. 2 trips to Italy, one with kids and one without. Too many stories and experiences with those trips to share, and let's just say that music travel might have changed some of their policies after our second trip. Too many jokes for me to remember, but I can't keep jokes in my brain anyway, so I would like to think that he appreciates that every time he tells me the same joke again, which I've known him for a long time and they're all still like going, right? That I still laugh like it is the first time, because it kind of is. Speaking of which, I've seen the rope trick well over 100 times, and I'm still in awe every time he does it. Even though he's shown me every single step painstakingly, I still can't seem to get it. And don't ask me about the rubber band trick, because I think he might have finally gotten frustrated with me a couple of months ago after decades of trying. But the kids absolutely love it. They fall for him every time. I have so many more memories, but 2 that stand out to me. The time it looked like we were all gonna get riffed, our jobs were being switched around the township, and we knew someone was going to lose the draw. Me being a young teacher and him being experienced and wise, he told me not to get all concerned when these big changes happen. This is just how it goes, he said. And even though things will change, they will always come back around. He was right. And I still tell my student teachers all the time that advice. But my favorite memory was after one of our honor orchestra concerts, performances. Everyone had left, and we were clearing the stage. We both share a love and appreciation for Pink Floyd. He sat down at the piano and started playing The Great Gig in the Sky while I sang vocals. This is my favorite memory with you, Jim. Thank you for your patience, your mentorship, your friendship, and your humor and your time. Love you.
You made it to the end.
see Guy White, Mr. Crismore's best friend, who is making his way somewhere. Oh, here he comes. It's a long way back there. It goes pretty deep.
When I reached out to Jim Crismore about 35 years ago about borrowing a violin bow, I wish there had been someone like from Dr. Seuss something saying, "Oh, the places you will go. Oh, the places you will see." Because it's been an incredible road trip ever since. I've never met someone who loved life more, who was more curious, able to experience anything, adventure, explore. And I've never met someone that loved music more than Jim. Whether it's a banjo, a violin, or a piano, or anything. If you take him away from his guitar for more than 3 days or so, he gets really grumpy. Trust me on this. And most importantly, because it is all about the students, I've never met someone who loved being a music teacher more. I've heard about every single contest, how many golds were won in every contest. I have heard about how many cellos or basses they've had in every year since, I don't know, probably since the Reagan administration. And he loves you all. He loves every single one of his students. And you're everywhere. Trust me on this, you're everywhere. Several years ago, Jim and I found ourselves on top of Edinburgh Castle in Scotland, about 4,000 miles away. We're sitting up here on this mountain overlooking the parapet at the grandeur of the British Empire, taking it all in. And all of a sudden, we hear behind us this voice screaming, "Hey, look, it's Mr. Crismore!" And I've never had a better friend. I think that as long as he keeps breathing, he has a chance to beat this thing. And I think we all need him to keep breathing. Frankly, heck, I need him to keep breathing, because there's a lot of world out there. And Jim, Mr. Crismore, thank you for being you.
And next, I've been told we're going to hear from a small army, potentially, of Zionsville West students. So Zionsville West students, go ahead and step forward. Yep, come on up. They'll make room. You can step up here so there's more room. There's so many of you. Okay, step up here. Take center stage. There we go. You all look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
It's an occupational hazard. It's okay. Okay. All right. Are we just going down the line? Are we doing this?
I'm first.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Just be careful with
Hi, I'm Callie. Hi, I'm Hasani. I'm Victoria. I'm Nora. I'm Layla. I'm Laksha. And I'm Pranita. We're all 7th graders at Z West. I think it's amazing that we know only a fraction of the people in this room, yet we're all a family. We're all connected by one string, Mr. Crismore. Yet none of us could have predicted that it would take just one person, one spark, to create this entire experience. The reason we are all here today is to show the man with the bright smile and the colorful tie what an impact he's had on us. From the very first day that we met him, Mr. Crismore greeted us with a smile that could brighten up the entire room. His laughter was contagious and his jokes made every class feel special. Every day we could not wait to get to the orchestra, not just because of the music, but because we knew we would be welcomed with his warmth, kindness, and hilarious jokes.
He has shown us the power of laughter when times were tough, the significance of kindness, even on the busiest days, and the magic of music. He is and was dedicated to music in the most moving way. Your impact on us goes way beyond what we learned in the classroom.
We made music more than notes on a page. He turned it into a story. He made every moment in the classroom more than time spent. He turned it into memories. Mr. Crismore was not just a teacher. He was a mentor, a guide, and a friend. He helped us believe in ourselves even when we did not believe in our abilities.
He not only taught us the value of working hard and staying focused, but he also showed us the importance for it is to enjoy the process and have fun along the way. We thank you for your incredible strength, your endless dedication, and for inspiring us all to carry forward the music that you have so lovingly shared with us. Your teaching was uplifting and creative, and your dedication to music was nothing short of inspiring.
Mr. Crismore is one of the most influential people we have ever known. He made every moment that we spend with him a moment to remember. From music to dad jokes to teenage grunt. Long story short, Mr. Crismore magic happened. Mr. Crismore has always kept us on our toes with his charismatic personality. Big word, I know. He was never just an orchestra teacher or director. He was and still is an example of even if there are ups and downs in life, we can still try to live life however we want.
We owe him more than words can express. Mr. Crismore, we are inspired by you and thank you for your unwavering support and amazing musical abilities. With every joke, every trick, every smile, you have made us not only better musicians, but better people. And never forget, just like music, life has its sharps and flats. You will get through this, Mr. Crismore. We just want you to know that every single person in this room supports you. We love you.
Fact-checking myself here, but I do believe this next piece is a Mr. Crismore composition. So, if any of you, I've been told there are words. I don't know the words, but if any of you are alums of Mr. Crismore's who know the words, feel free to sing along. those words because that was maybe the most adorable thing I've ever seen. Before we wrap up the performance part of the night, Mrs. Crismore has asked to come up and say a few words. While she makes her way up here, I put a lot of thank yous in the program. I could say a lot more, but this has taken a village. Thank you to my students who've been so patient and willing to jump in. Thank you to the Zoink board, Zionsville Orchestra Inc. board, for purchasing stuff for the reception, jumping on crazy ideas, helping us do so many things, more than I can possibly list. Thank you to the parents and student volunteers. You guys are amazing. We are so lucky to have such a village here. And I'll turn it over to Mrs. Crismore.
Well, thank you. I can't, words just aren't good enough for how grateful we are to all of you. And especially thank you to Keegan and Megan for making this happen. Yeah, well, I never would have thought when I sent her the text saying, do you think we could do this? And she just took it and ran with it. And her and Megan just came up with this great idea. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. I know Jim would love to be up here, but it's a little cumbersome with the wheelchair. So make sure you stop and talk to him at the reception. Also, just a few dad jokes, because what would the night be without one, right? So everybody, what's this? A microwave, yes. Also, these are two new ones that he just recently learned. One comes from his father, who learned it at the Masonic home in Franklin, go figure. So this is for the English folks. What is a thesaurus' favorite breakfast food? A synonym roll. And the other one is, what do you call a pencil that needs sharpened? Pointless. So anyway, thank you very much. There again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so grateful to have you all participate and attend tonight. Thank you.
And we have one final work for you tonight that I think you'll recognize. Just a logistical thing. After we conclude this piece, we'll dismiss one section at a time so that it's not just mass chaos. Parents, your students will pack up. They're welcome to leave their belongings in the tuning rooms until you're ready to leave the reception. So students, you should pack up your instruments and leave them in the tuning rooms until you're done at the reception. Also, grab your rope trick and bring it to the reception. And if any of you brought your rope tricks, bring them to the reception, and we'll convene there and do a gigantic rope trick. I forgot one thank you. Could our Zionsville Orchestra teachers raise their hands? The 4 of us, 5 of us total, including me. They're like way back there, you can't see them, but they're there. And I put them in the program. They came and helped me set up last night on a Sunday night, and they have put up with so many crazy emails and texts from me. So thank you to this team. I feel really lucky to be a part of it. Without further ado, we present to you Ode to Joy. Thank you for being here. so much. If you are in the audience, we would love to see you meet us in Eagle Commons, which is just right out through where you came in. Students and participants on stage, if we could let well, first of all, cellos and basses, everybody put your end pin in, please. There will be no end pin catastrophes tonight. All right, end pins in. Please let the basses go first. And second violins, you can start carefully filing out that door, but please steer clear of the basses, who will also be using that back hallway. Second violins and basses are dismissing. Once the basses have cleared the doorway, cellos who are on this side, like the far side of the brick wall, go ahead and go. First violins, you can file off behind the seconds. And violas, once these cellos, you can go. Cellos who are back there, you can go. And once those cellos have filed off, you can all carefully make your way out. Thank you very much. Wonderful job.